I like our sick intros usually.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not that good, man. I'm not dad, brother.
You just started it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to
Let's
like
get
this.
after it. Well, we're already late, man. We had some technical difficulties. Sorry about being late, folks. We had a little bit of heat issue on our camera here, so that's why we're late. We got Cap over there. He's in the back in the green room. He's ready to rock and roll. Me and Abel here are going to sit and chit-chat with you guys for a second, and then we'll bring him in, and we'll start talking some soft plastics, and I know that's why you guys are all here. So give us a minute, and we'll get that started here in a second.
Good?
We're good, brother. We'll get that background fixed when you go over there.
Okay.
So, alrighty. So yeah, man. It's Friday, y'all. It is Friday.
It is a Friday. Our
Yes,
camera's a
sir.
little tweaked, a little messed up.
That's okay, man.
Overheating issues.
Hey, we're bob and weave over here. Bob and weave. Absolutely, man. So yeah, we're super excited for today. Like I said, we got Cap at C3 Baits coming in, man. Super excited to talk to him about plastics and his journey. Super cool guy. I got to talk to him all week, so he's just a really nice guy. Hold the conversation well, like some of our youth can't anymore. But that's okay, man. There's room for growth there. So we're gonna get on that. But yeah, let's get this thing going. We here at BAB TV, as you guys all know, we have bearings, we have batteries, and we have Z-Care.
Yes, sir.
So, big week, big week for Z-Care.
It is.
Big
It's been
week.
an exciting week for the boss. He
Yes.
has been losing sleep.
Yeah, literally.
Besides all the health problems, he has been super excited about this. This has been keeping him up for weeks.
I would say more joint problems, not health problems. That could
Joint
be,
problems.
That
Yeah,
that could be
Joint
misled
problem. He's
there,
got like leg, shoulders,
He's just
knees,
old. Leave him alone.
toes.
He's just old. Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
He's gonna be messaging, hey, I'm
cut
right
that
here,
out. Exactly. Anyway, Z-Care, huge week for Z-Care, man. We've gotten basically almost all of our formulas except for 2.
That's a lot. Every time I'm gonna text Justin. I already told Billy this. I'm like, hey, Justin. Anytime Billy comes up with an idea, and says, hey, can you do this? Just no. We don't. I'm sorry, we don't do that.
No,
because
man.
at this point, I think we got 5 more that I have to create labels for.
And that's just more honey in the pot. More honey in the pot.
I love me some honey.
Super proud to announce that we're partnered with a bunch of people on Z-Care. You can run down to Copper State Marine and pick up our product there. We have a couple other distributors like the Point South Mountain here, or the Arizona Resort. They just started carrying our product, and we're really happy with everybody. And if you guys are ever in the market for some cleaners, we do Z-Care, which is an all-purpose multi-surface LVP cleaner. We also do Oops, which is a stain remover. It also takes out stains, obviously. It takes out coffee. It takes out wine. We're doing some crayon testing here soon.
It's also an odor eliminator. Don't forget that.
I'm getting there.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Hey,
just want to make sure.
No, you keep me honest. I like it, man. And we also carry a glass cleaner.
Yes, sir.
We also carry a glass shield, so that Rain-X stuff that you guys are used to putting on your windshields and then raw stuff just rolls off. You can get that at zcare.com or zcaresolutions.com.
Yes, sir.
We also have some like Scotch Guard kind of stuff coming out. It's called Z-Guard. That's going to be really cool for you guys here in the winter months to just keep your clothes nice and dry. Z-Cal. This stuff is amazing. I literally took it home and I cleaned up my whole shower, and it looks like the day I moved in. And it looks amazing. It's Z-Cal. There's no vinegar inside of that stuff. It is a natural salt-based formula, so it's not harmful to the environment or anything like that. It's really good stuff, not like that CLR where you go and you clean your shower head and then you got to go to the hospital because you can't breathe.
All of a sudden you have like smoke and stuff bubbling out of your drains and stuff.
Super acidic.
Yeah.
Super acidic. And then obviously we also have our bilge. So for all you guys with the big boats, you got the oil leaks, you got the gas leaks, you got the stuff coming out of those inboards. This bilge stuff, you literally just put it inside of the bilge and it turns brown water into clear water. It is absolutely amazing. All this stuff is on our website, zcaresolutions.com. Go on there, check it out, do your research. If you're here locally in Arizona, you can just give us a call, come by, pick it up. Or you could go to any of our distributors and pick it up. Next on the list is BAB bearings, badass bearings.
Yes, sir.
Man, we got some stuff for those too. Go ahead.
I was just say there are really some really good bearings, man. ABEX, we got the ABEC 9. We have still some of our 7s, but once the 7s are out, they're gone, right? We're not doing the 7s no more. We're just gonna go just the best. We only want to offer the best. That's out there.
Come on, guys. 40 to 50 more feet per cast. You can't ask for more than that. I mean, especially out here in these Arizona lakes where not all of them are clear, but all of them are deep. But like the clear lakes, you're fishing Havasu, you're fishing Pleasant, you're fishing Roosevelt. Some parts of Roosevelt are super clear. If you got that extra 30, 40 feet, man, you are you're giving yourself an edge over somebody that doesn't.
Where was Marty telling me about? Where was he fishing that we were talking about flipping to? Where Mead. So you got to get that extra distance because they're really deep down in there. Because I'm bed fishing lips, and he was talking to me. He's like, "Oh yeah, you like that?" He's like, "Well, when you're only like maybe 10 feet down, you can see it. And you only got to throw it a little in front." He's like, "Now imagine when they're like 40 feet down, and that fish looks like a little 12-inch fish. You got to cast it way out there and drop it down to them." And so that's where you're going to really need your distance right there. You don't have to put that effort in. You just flip it right to them.
Man, you learned it today.
Oh,
I'm learning
it. I'm jotting mental notes in my head.
Absolutely. We're super proud to announce that we have started to work and maintain reels. So, like, if you guys have any kind of maintenance that needs done, we are taking reels in. We're doing a cleaning. We're doing a lube, bearing replacement if needed. We're greasing them up as well. Send them on in. Call for pricing. And yeah, there's some other stuff in the works. It's not completely dialed in yet, but we have some really cool stuff coming our way for this next season, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to have a lot of new people that are on the team and a lot of new people that are going to be involved in the BAB family, so that's really exciting as well. And then last, but definitely not least, Volta Power Lithium.
Dude, the best in the game.
Absolutely, 100%.
It's becoming more known. I've been seeing it more on those Facebook groups.
Me
more
too.
People dropping that name out there for recommendations.
That's right.
Which is what I love to see.
Me too.
Just a random scroll, and I just like to see, like, in the Facebook groups, those local groups saying, like, what do you guys recommend? I love to see one of those first comments saying Volta Power USA right there.
Amen.
Dude, it's good to see that.
It is good to see it.
It's good to see scroll, and I see our recommendations right there in the comments.
That's right, y'all. So go online, check them out, VoltaPowerUSA.com or VoltaPowerLithium.com. And check them out, man. Do your research, learn about active charging. Learn about what sets our batteries apart from everybody else. If you guys follow us at Volta Power on our Facebook page, you guys seen these update videos of either myself or Abel sitting here talking to you guys about the difference in our battery and everybody else's. And the number one thing that is definitely different, that has hands down changed the battery game by far, I mean, I wouldn't put it by anybody else, is that active balancing. Active balancing is a huge part of the battery and the conditioning of the battery. It's a technology that we introduced to the market. We brought it over from the golf cart side into the deep cycle side. And what it does is it allows your batteries to be charged continuously throughout the day, but not charged like you're thinking. It's a balance, right? So like it's pushing the voltage around, and it's allowing these batteries to stay within 3 millivolts of each other. So you get longer draw times, shorter charge times, and longer longevity of the battery just due to how balanced it is. And yeah, it changes everything, man. Like I tell people, I had a young man in here today, a local hammer, and it just blew his mind. He was just like, "You're telling me?" And I'm like, "That's right, buddy."
I saw you turn on the battery over there. You showed him the
lights,
the clear top.
I did. I said,
like
this is it, bro. This is the bee's knees, the bee's wax. It's all in one right here. We also have a heater that's included. It's not extra. You're not paying an extra $100 to keep your batteries in condition. You're just, boom, right there. It's included in the price. Nothing more, all right there, fully included. You can't ask for more than that. You got anything else?
No, I think we covered. We didn't really talk about our. What do you call it? It's for golf. Our golf season mostly, so it's not going to be for like the fisher people, but we have a new battery for the golf side that's going to have a fire extinguisher built inside of it.
Fire suppression.
Yes, sir.
100%.
It's built right in there. It's activated by a temperature that's set in the BMS. I forget exactly. What did they say it was set for?
I think it was 170.
I was going to say 170. I think 170. But it's all adjustable too. Some people think, oh, that's a little close to how hot it gets here. But I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. 170. I don't know where you're at,
no,
dude.
Bro.
Are you walking on the sun or something?
This ain't the Sahara, homie. But 170.
But no, I'm excited for that. I'm really cool.
It's
going to
change the game, man.
For our main business over there on the golf side, that's going to be really big for us because that's a worry for some of our customers, is that they just always worry about the possible risk of fire. They're a little older. They're set in their ways. We educate them on the differences of those batteries that are known to catch fire, like the drill batteries and things like that. Different chemistry from the lithium iron phosphate. But really good, awesome product that we're coming out. It's going to have a fire extinguisher built fire suppression built right into the battery.
That's right, man. If you guys are here local in Arizona and you just happen to fish and you happen to own a golf cart, you give us a call at thebatteryguy.com. You talk to Miss Taylor in the office. She'll give you all the details on what you need to know. And then coming up this season, the pricing is going to be outrageous. So just stay tuned for that, you guys. We are going into this next season aggressive, and it's going to change the golf cart game.
Yes, sir.
So, all right, man. Well, with no further ado, I'm going to bring in Mr. Cap himself. He's the owner of C3 Baits. This gentleman has been pouring baits in his garage. I think he told me for like the last 10 years, and it was a hobby that turned into a job. And when I hear hobby turned into a job, that means there is some value behind the product. So we're going to bring him in here, and we're going to chit chat with him for a little bit. You guys, if you guys are watching and you have any questions, just shoot them out. We will get to them if we see them. I'm not really good at that, but I will try my hardest today to do that. And let's bring him on in. Let's see if we can bring him in here. Mr.
Let me go try to fix your screen real quick.
All right, perfect. Mr. Cap. There he is.
I'm
How
here.
you doing, Cap?
I'm good, but I got to correct you already.
Uh-oh.
20 years in the bait business.
20 years. Oh, my goodness.
Come on, 10 is rookie style. I've been around, man, and I pride it because it is tough to stay in this business for that long doing what I'm doing.
I believe it. I've seen companies come and I've seen them go, being in the industry myself, just being a fisherman, not even like in the industry. So for you to be around for 20 years really says something.
Yep. We started this years ago. I started it with a few buddies, and like you had mentioned, it was sort of a hobby, and then it turned into a jobby, and now it's literally a full-time job. I could quit my real job almost. I don't want to jump the gun, but and just do this. But I've seen so many guys come and go over the years, and it's too bad for them. But its longevity is really tough in this business. The competition is fierce, and you're left to go like, whoa, like what's going on? But you got the product, and you got the knowledge, and you got the experience on a couple bodies of water where I specialize, and I do have a really good following here locally.
That's really good. I heard from you from one of your local anglers there, and he's like, you've got to get this guy on your show. And I'm like, okay, well, I didn't get a number, so I'm like, well, I'm just going to go seek him out anyway. So I hit him up on Instagram, and I'm like, yo, Cap, this is what I do. I'd love to have you on the show. Come on over. Let's chit-chat. Let's talk. Let's get to know this guy. So we're going to start that. We're going to get it going. Cap, let's talk about how you got started doing this. How did it all start for you? Where did it start? How did it start? What was your motivation?
Absolutely. So, and I want to thank you for having me on the show. I do appreciate it.
My absolute pleasure.
Years ago, I live in LA County, one of the worst counties in the world. But anyway, that being said, I live in LA County, which is fished by millions of people. So you got lots of people fishing the same body of water every day, no matter what lake you go to, right? And the national brands that those robotic worm companies, and everybody uses it, and the fish get keen to certain things. So I, with a couple buddies back then, we said let's try our own stuff. And over the years, Castaic, where I live, was built in '72, the lake, and my dad brought me there when it opened, like the first month. And I was probably 4 years old, and I still live in Castaic to this day. I didn't live then, and as I grew up and was fishing with a bunch of friends, and everybody struggles from time to time on the water, I decided as I got into my adult worlds and getting boats and stuff, I wanted something different, and we started making baits, me and a couple of buddies, and anybody that's made soft plastic baits, it's time consuming, it's cumbersome, and when you got 3 guys involved, it's tough to all get together and always have the time to try to get creative. So that lasted for a couple years. That was like in '05, so like I said, 20 years. And then I decided to do it on my own. I'm like, when I'm available, I need to be able to make bait. So I decided I'm going to do this, and I started out slow, just with a few molds, a couple hand pours, a couple injections. But the main reason, and to answer your question without going on tangents, is the bass see the same plastics every day, year in, year out. People fishing from the shore or their boats are throwing the same colors, the same presentations or creatures or worms, whatever you want to say. And the fish get used to it. You know, the same fish get caught over and over and over, and they're not going to fall for it 3 and 4 and 5 times. So, in my opinion, I wanted something different. I wanted, as I became knowledgeable about our local bait fish in the waters, and I started just writing things down, taking mental notes, and I decided, hey, I could do this. So I started creating colors on things I saw, and I didn't share those things. And I decided, hey, I'm going to make this color or this color, and it just blew up, man. And I couldn't be more blessed. We're talking almost 20 years strong now, and I keep evolving. You know, if you ever stop learning, you're a moron. You know, pardon the language, but you got even the most professional people learn every day. And if you give up on learning, you're just giving up. And I don't give up. I'm not a quitter. And I every day, even after 20 years, I'm still in this shop thinking of the next best color, thinking of what flake can I add, or maybe change a bait that's out there right now to make it better. And that's just sort of was my, gumption to get into it. And here we are today.
Rock on, man. So, without giving up too much of the juice, like, can you kind of go over what kind of, like, when you first started, you were talking about how you kind of dialed into the forage in your local lakes, and you're starting to see things that possibly people that don't fish those lakes are seeing, that also own a bait company, and they're trying to implement these different colors into that ecosystem. But, like for instance, here in Arizona, you go to Pleasant, if it ain't morning dawn, you might as well just keep the boat on the trailer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
can you kind of explain, without, you don't have to give us too much of the juice, but just trying to, like, figure out exactly, like, is it like more of like a, I don't know, do you guys have herring? Is it more of like a gizzard? Is it like just a basic shad pattern?
Yeah, I got you. And like you said, I mean, we spoke. Morning dawn is a money color in Arizona. I can't make it fast enough for the guys fishing Havasu and me and all those lakes. Yeah, man, that pink and purples, like I said, are just money out there, and it's actually become pretty prevalent here as well. But yeah, well, like you said, catching when we're fishing for whatever, over the years. I'm not saying in my last 10, but say I'm bait fishing for striper, and I catch a sculpin on a piece of mackerel or a piece of sardine, and I'm like, wow, little 3-inch little bait fish swimming on the bottom of the lake. What is that? And I learned about sculpin and gobies, and we have those, and we even have freshwater shrimp in Castaic Lake. I live a mile from the lake, so this is like my home lake. I do branch out and fish a couple others nearby, but when I started seeing these type of fish, I'm like, okay, and I would take pictures of them, and I would try to duplicate what they look like. And some guys would say, what the heck is that? What are you trying to make? I'm like, just try it, and it became a passion of mine to try to one up the competition.
Yeah.
And it still is. I mean, like I said, I'm not the only game in town. I pride myself. I've been here the longest, but I know there's lots of guys on my coattails chasing me down, and I have good friends that are competing against me, and I have guys that don't talk to me that are competing against me, and that's all good. We all have our own path in life, but as far as the bait fish in our lakes, we have threadfin shad, we have silver sides as we call them. Like I said, freshwater shrimp, gobies, and sculpin. All these tiny little things that dart in and out of the rocks. And that's how I sort of started coming up with names for my baits. And when we get into that, I could share that with you. But that was sort of the motivation. I started seeing, what are fish eating? Let's start with that. What are they puking up on your boat when you reel them in?
Exactly.
And some people just kick it to the side, throw it overboard. Oh, that's disgusting. No, that's research right there, dude. You pick that up, you put it in a baggie, and you take it home. You take it to your shop, and you magnify it, and you see what's in it. It's disgusting, sure, but not to the guys. We're like, whoa, this is cool. And you get the colors, you get the spots, you get the flake, you get the iridescence. There's so many things that go into making a bait. It's not just heating up some plastic, injecting some brown or to make oxblood and calling it a day. You got to get the people on fish. And I know a lot of guys might disagree, or some people might, not a lot. Those that are serious about bait making, like myself, I want people to catch fish, right? I'm not, this isn't my only job. I've been with a telephone company for 35 years, right? That's my bread and butter. This is helping people catch fish. I turned it into a little side job, but I get a kick out of a guy calling me and saying, "Hey, Cap, I use such and such bait, Neptune shad, and I caught so many fish. It was crazy, and I really appreciate you putting me on fish. My son was out there and just maxed out. We caught so many fish." That's why I do it, man. It really does. I get a kick out of the feedback, I should say, from anglers.
That's huge, and I think a big part of like what you did right was listening to what the people had to say. Like, hey man, this is working, or hey man, this isn't. Quit trying to beat a dead horse kind of thing, which I see a lot.
Yeah.
Just walking through tackle shops. You can walk into any tackle shop today. You can even look online, and you got like I was at ICAST this year, right? And everybody's talking about ICAST. Everybody had some kind of like cube bait that they just came out with. And I'm like, okay, that's wonderful. You guys all have that, but where's the new stuff? Where's the stuff that's like, and what I'm trying to get at is that you can walk into any tackle shop and you can find one specific bait you're looking for, and you've got 16 different brands to choose from, and every single one of those brands has the exact same pattern. It's just got their different name above it. And
so here's the difference. Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine. I was just saying, the way that you did it, I was explaining to somebody the other day when we had our talk the other day, like how you don't add the layers, you add the flake, and you get a better response.
Right.
It's amazing, it's just, and you've gone to the point to where you're thinking of like you just explained, you had this guy, he's like, what is that supposed to be? And you're like, just throw it. And then he's probably hooking them, he's probably whacking them because nobody else anywhere else took the time, did the research, and produced a product that's going to catch fish.
And that brings me back to the competition. Like I said, anybody could order a bucket of plastic and melt some down and add some coloring. And it's great for the hobbyist, the guy that wants to just do it for himself. But when you're trying to, make baits, and I consider myself sort of large in that. I mean, I have my stuff in 5 different shops in brick and mortar stores, and each of those stores can call me and say, "Hey, Cap, I need 400 bags as soon as you can." So I have to have stock. So if I'm not at work on my normal job, I'm in here. And you're right. There are so many national brands that carry oxblood or green pumpkin. But, by fishing local waters that I do, I've learned what oxblood or green pumpkin tones I'm looking for. I learned what the earthworms that come out of the bank look like. And, black and blue, say, is not a huge color here. It's a great night color almost anywhere. But I got guys in other states, they can't get enough of black and blue. But here at Castaic, it's more of an oxblood with red flake. Is just a money color on most of our bodies here. So, yeah, it does take a lot of experience, knowledge, and on the water, I call it TOW, time on the water, to learn what the fish want and give them what they want. And if I tell people that are very novice fishermen to professionals, give this a chance. If you don't like it, give it back. I'll give you your money back. And I've never had to refund anybody's money. So that tells me what at least I know, and I hope, that I know what I'm talking about after 50 years of fishing the same bodies of water. So it is a good feeling.
That's awesome, man. And we did have a conversation prior. Let's kind of talk about the process on like making how it works, right? Everybody gets their jug. I'm familiar with like Plasticil, but I'm sure there's other kind of compounds that you can use. And the process that it takes is not it like you were saying, it's time consuming. You have to heat it up and do all this other stuff. I'm gonna let you get into all the details, but it kind of like walk us through like a single bait start to finish.
Okay. Well, it'll all be, shortened because if we were to make anything, it would take too long. But I'll show you. Basically, what I do is you order plastisol like you just mentioned, right? And I get it in 5-gallon buckets, and I get them like 40 or 4 buckets, 5 buckets at a time. The buckets can come in different strengths of plastic depending on what you're making. So if you're making, like a little straight tail worm straight, you want it soft. Or if you're fishing, like this is my Flukenstein, you want it a little stiffer, to hold up to a little bit more combat on the water. So they sell different strengths of plastisol, all the way up to like rock hard, swim bait guys. They use even more stronger stuff than plastisol. But you start it with plastisol. It looks like milk when you pour it out. It comes out, and I use like a 4-cup batch. Right, is my generally smallest batch, and this was a white batch as you just saw.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a 4-cup Pyrex. I fill it and I heat it in the microwave, right? And you got to get it to like 320 to 360 degrees, depending on what you're making, because it really does make a difference. And once it's heated to where you want it to go, you add your glitters, and your pigment. I got every color under the sun of flake. I got usually like 3 to 4 or 5 different sizes and shapes of flake in every color you could possibly think of. So I have a board here that has hundreds of jars of flake. Getting back to what you mentioned about the Morning Dawn, I don't like to do tricolor pours, dual color pours. I can, but when I'm making hundreds of bags, it's just not worth it for a guy like me by myself in the shop. I compensate for that with flake. And I get like a Morning Dawn in your example has pink, purple, blue. I add those flakes. I've never had anybody say, "Oh God, I wish it was a vein of purple or blue." So anyway, once you get all your stuff heated, I have a chamber over here that sucks. It's a vacuum chamber, for better words, and it sucks any air out that might be in the plastic. And once you get it crystal clear and the color you want, you'll inject it in like here's my Flukenstein mold. For lack of better words, everybody knows what a fluke looks like. Mm-hmm. But I changed this one a little bit. So when you inject it on this one, it's coming down the top here and it's spreading out to each side. I think this makes like 26 different baits at a time. So when this is clamped together, you inject it, and then once it's cooled off a little bit, you come out with something like that. And I redesigned this fluke. A lot of people are like, "Oh, fluke's a fluke." Well, it's not. This is the Flukenstein, and people like to make fun of that name because it is sort of silly and funny. But I did change some things from the original national brands. I added a crease in the tail, and I added a crease here. This thing is, and I lengthened these little forks. So when this is jerked across the top of the water, you could fish it on boils in open water. But what we're also doing with it is fishing it on top of like frog patties if you have some weeds. I make them in any color, like any bait I do. But just to get back to your question, yeah, so once you get your baits out, you hang them to cure, as you see behind me here. These are all flukes. Ghost is the color. It's white, obviously. And that's the most common color. I do make them in many colors, though. And any of my baits come in any color. So somebody could call me and they say, "Hey, I know white is the best in the Flukenstein, but I want a purple worm with green flake." I can do it. That's what independent guys are. We are most, or the good ones. I will make you your custom order. You got to order maybe 2 or 3 bags. I don't ask for 20 bags, or those national brands will ask you for 200 bags. If you want to order a couple bags, you're the boss. I work for you. So that's how that comes out. So then once you get your baits out, I hang them. This is just to cure a little bit before they go into the bagging process. And I have my buddy Blake and my brother Andy. They come out and they help me bag things up, and we label them and tag them, and we get them into the shops. It's just been like a cycle, And so as far as answering your question, I've probably been rambling too long, but that's the gist of how a bait is made.
Nice. And I watched videos and stuff like that. I'm sure any angler that's curious about doing it, trying to save a buck to do it yourself, like you mentioned, they're called the hobbyist. You know, like I have there's a color that my buddy here locally has, and I was at his house, and I was like, dude, I've never seen this before. He goes, well, that's because I pour that. I'm like, do you got some extras? He's like, yeah. First cast, dink, and it was just and that's the power, like you said, of the independent dude. You know, you can go out and you can be like, hey, I want this, and
it's
this.
something the fish haven't seen. Yeah,
100%. And then, like you said before, you can only catch the same fish about 10 times on the same thing before he gets worried about it. So,
you know,
but I mean, I saw nothing.
Go ahead.
I said I saw nothing but action on the back end of that Flukenstein, man. That thing was just jiggling the whole time you were talking.
Oh, I'm telling you, man. And a lot of my baits are like that. A lot of guys are, you know, swim bait, big fish, big bait, big fish guys. I'm not that way. You know, I've caught plenty of 10+ pounders on 3-inch baits. One thing I don't do, and some people have asked me, like, you know, do you have scent in your baits? And I'm like, no, because I tried it one time, you know, and then somebody grabs a bag of your baits, right? And they open it up and they take a big whiff, and you're like, whoa, God. The problem with scent, especially for a guy like me that makes them in his shop where I live 12 feet away, depending on the scent, it could really destroy your garage or your shop. No matter how much you try to put it in bags. So I gave up on the scent. You know, if you want to get max freaking, you know, fish, you just fish the way it is. And if you want to add your own scent, you know, I tell people, like, they'll say, hey, can you do this with a green tail? No, but you can buy yourself a marker pen or a dip and dip it. And people love the simplicity of my the way I do business. I don't like kiss butt. But at the same time, I'm also want to do everything I can to make somebody happy. I got guys with kids that are 3 years old. They just want to get on a fish. I have certain baits I would give them. Or for the more competitive angler that's got demands from me, I'm like, hey, I need this, I need this. I could do that too. So like I was telling you, being an independent bait maker has brought me from, you know, each side of the rainbow. And I just, you know, try to keep up and and try to keep my normal job and career going until I could take that golden parachute and retire.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Amen, brother. Well,
Exactly.
let's talk. The bait that I've seen just going through your stuff that I've seen on your social media is that ice pick, man. That thing looks good. I'm a huge advocate for those little stick baits like that. I'd probably run that nose hooked on a drop shot. You know what I mean? Just let it do its thing. Let that tail just sit there and work its magic. Can you hold one of those up and take a look at it real quick?
Yeah, definitely. Here, I got one right here. The ice pick was one of my first baits, and this bait, it's, you know, you could say it's the basic shad imitation bait. Doesn't have eyeballs, doesn't have fins, but it is it's just about 3 inches, right? And it has a round body and a flat tail. So when you got this nose hook on a drop shot, you could barely have to move your rod, and this thing's just bouncing. And such a simple bait, no appendages, no crazy arms or legs, especially here at our lakes where we are clear water reservoirs, highly pressured. You get something that mimics the bait fish. This happens to be in watermelon candy. But again, you know, you could order them in white, black, green, purple, whatever flake combination a bait maker like myself can handle. So that is the ice pick, and they come in bags of 12. You know, bags generally look like that. And
What's
the
a
labels
bag
on,
run?
What's that?
Like if somebody were to go to your, like, I'm assuming that you have a way to purchase either through your social media or a website or something. Let's plug that.
That's sort of it's been a very hot topic lately, you know, 20 years in the business, and I don't even have a website, you know. I've tried to keep this thing low, and because I don't like saying no. And I've been out here till 3 a.m. producing orders for tournament guys that have, hey, Cap, it's Thursday, and I need 20 bags of this or that. You know, and like I said, I have a normal job. So I got my prospect and my brother working on it. We're going to get a website together this year. But right now, if anybody wanted to order, you could contact me through Facebook at C3Baits or Instagram or at cccbaits@gmail.com. Or if you have my phone number, you can call me. I always include my card when I ship out an order. I ship right here from the garage. A lot of the locals will just pick up from me and save the shipping.
Rock on, man. That's what I would do. 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, so you've got a plethora of stuff. I kind of stalked you the other day, and I didn't see one thing where I'm like, I don't know about that. I mean, what is the bait that you're most excited about? What's the one that really gets you going? You're super proud of. You put some time into it. I mean, I'm gonna take a shot in the dark and say it's a Flukenstein, but if it's not, go ahead and correct me.
That's definitely top five. I'm going to give you that. I probably have 30 baits in my stable. Of those, 10 are hot sellers. And if you want to go deeper, we can go to 15. But if I want to talk about the top baits, the bait where I really started with is my shimmy. Now, the shimmy is also like a 3-inch bait, 3 1/4, I believe, if you wanted to measure it. It's like a segmented sluggo for those of you that might know what a sluggo is. Many people have made this over the years. It's not my creation, but I have changed it to make it my own. It's a segmented bait, so it does have 2 little ribs in the middle there, and it narrows to a tail. I nose hook this, but the best way, drop shotting, but the best way to fish this bait is Carolina rigging it. I use a number 2. I use the rebarbs myself. You could use any worm hook with the keeper. That's key with this bait. And I will just drift it along the shoreline. So the shimmy would be like my bread and butter. It's my flagship bait right there. You said the ice pick, that would be second. But yeah, shimmy's what put me on the map. And I was making those. I was hand pouring them for years, and I still do on certain applications. But I've had molds made of this, and so I'm able to inject them and make them faster. So that's a shimmy. The robotic company, I don't like saying their name because it's a bad word. They stopped making curly tails for a short time recently. So I jumped on that and I made a 5.5-inch curly tail. Now I call it the Curly Sue. It is really close to that national brand, but I made some changes. This bait right here is just reeling in fish left and right. So I'm really proud of this one because of the timing that I brought it out and why I brought it out. And then I heard since then that company might have started making them again, but it hasn't cut into my business whatsoever. So that's the Curly Sue. A couple baits that become, we all know stick baits, right? You fish them, especially Arizona in the Delta. There's all these people that love stick baits, and we love them here too. I have my own. I call it the kicker stick. That's a 5-inch, basically not a duplicate, but very close to the original. And then I have the Slim Pro, and that's the thinner version of the national brand. Now I want to tell you the difference between mine and the national brand. Price might be the same or a little cheaper through me. But when I make these, now these baits sink, right? So I add salt. That makes them sink. Those national brands, they will add sand and salt. Okay. So keeping that in mind, when you toss out that national brand and your bait hits the bank, it's sinking like this. It's down, right? Boom and down. And it has that wobble. I get it, but it's going quick. What I am able to control, I almost sound like Jurassic Park, what I'm able to control is the sink rate. And I don't have a robotic machine injecting sand and salt into my baits. I have my little salt here, and I add the minimal amount to get this bait to sink. And in my opinion, if it's in the strike zone longer, you're going to get more hits, right? I mean, it seems, who wouldn't think that, right? So I have a swimming pool, so I go outside and I'll do them side by side, and I'm talking this will sink a lot slower. Now, granted, a lot of people don't have patience for that. You're going to get more strikes if you allow it to sink off a steep drop off or bank secondary points. But what we also do with this bait is we'll drop shot it, and that also sounds weird. You put it on a regular drop shot, maybe an 8-inch leader, a really small weight, right? And that way you are going a little bit faster for those that don't have the patience. But fly lined on a number 2 mosquito hook, I mean, I can't tell you how many fish I've caught. The Slim Pro, as I call it, is the thin version of that.
I like that.
And yeah, I'm telling you. And this color here, for the last couple of weeks, I call it purple haze. It's just a purple, has a little highlight powder in there. That bait has accounted for dozens of keeper fish in the last 4 or 5 trips for many people, not just myself. So those are my stick baits. I have longer baits. You know, I have a bait I call the teaser, which is basically your 6-inch straight tail worm. And I have a reaper bait. There's a lot of old school dudes. Not a lot of people fish the reaper anymore. I have the ridgeback reaper, and it has a spine on it, so it does have a ridgeback. That's why we named it that. And what I'm getting at, to close this whole spiel of mine, is guys like me. Okay, I just said it's a regular straight tail worm, right? But you can't walk into Walmart or Bass Pro and get the colors that are working on Castaic or Pyramid or Piru or any lake around here. And then when I get requests, any lake by you, Havasu, Morning Dawn, right? I can make this in any color, and I can sell you 1 or 2 bags where you're like, good God, I wish I had Morning Dawn with purple flake and maybe some green. You know, you call me, it's in the mail in a day or 2. So that's where independent bait makers come into play. They curtail to the avid angler as well as the beginner. I wanted to add another. Sometimes people will call me and they'll be like, hey, Cap, I don't know what to do. I know you're catching fish. I see your post on social media. Everybody's using your stuff. I offer these boxes, and it's just a small plano box, and it has 5 little slots, right? And what I'll do is I'll fill this if they want me to suggest, or they can pick their own colors. I call them a combo box. You could do, say, a straight ice pick box, or you could have, I have like 6 baits that are under 3 inches that will fit in here. I didn't talk about the stink pickle, but let's get back to this. So you could order this, and they go for anywhere from 35 to 50 bucks, depending on the baits you're ordering. And you're getting a full bag in each slot. And I'm giving you the box for free. These aren't cheap. And you're going to get that. And then what I also do is I label each bait in here. Like, okay, you ran out of that. That was the watermelon ice pick. I need to get that. So it gives people an idea of what they need to reorder when they run out. One more bait I wanted to show you that I created. I had a mold made, and they're not cheap, trust me. It's the stink pickle. It has a funny name. I get it, and I really had struggled with naming it that, but I think it's funny, and it does get a lot of guys talking. So the stink pickle is another small bait, 3-inch. It's 2.75, I think. It's a bad example there. It has 2 forked tails. So similar to the fluke, you can't see them. They spread apart when you jig it in the water. Where's my camera? There it is. So these little things, they flare out. A lot of guys will wacky rig this bait. It's really thin in the middle, so it has a bulbous head, right? And it wobbles. I mean, the wacky rig on this is insane. Or you could just nose hook it. But back to the bait fish in my lake, the needle, the silver sides in my lake, forget about it. Mimics them perfectly. So this is my natty shad color. It's pretty much a gray with gold and black flake. You can get it in any color, of course. That's something people will call me, hey, Cap, can I get such and such bait in this color? I'm like, you can get it in any color. Or they'll say, do you make this bait in this color? Yes. The answer is always yes. And if it isn't yes, it will be yes in a couple of days. So that's where I pride myself. I could produce. I got people picking baits up late at night, and I even deliver baits on the water if I'm on the lake for them. So it is cool. a neat little contact people got with me.
It makes it. I just see it being really personable to do business with you, and you kind of have that like humbling feeling to where you're just, hey, you know, like I do this too, man. Like this is I started this because I love doing this too. If you're gonna be here tomorrow, I'll meet you at the boat ramp at first light, and you can pick them up.
Absolutely, yeah. People stop me in line. Hey, you got anything? Yeah. You know, and then I recently bought a boat like 2 years ago. I bought a new boat, which of course, as we know, boat prices crazy. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what? We only live once, right? And
that's right.
My late wife said, you deserve it, so I'm like, I'm going to get it. And so I got it. And it's not wrapped yet, but I'm sure that's coming next. But I got a Z21, 2023. It's got the 250 Merc on it. It's my dream boat, man. And those that see me on the water, they recognize it. It's black and blue. And I love it. There's nothing about it I would change. And I just think once you find a passion for work, then you don't work a day in your life. That's the way I look at it.
That's awesome, man. So, just a general question that kind of just hit me in
Yeah.
the face. So, have you had the privilege of catching your PB on one of your own baits?
My PB on one of my own baits. No.
No.
I'm being honest, right?
Yeah,
Going
honesty is key.
My PB bass back there, that's my brother's. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. You see that bass back there?
Yeah.
On the wall? Okay, we call him Bertha. That's a 17.3 pounder that was caught by my brother about, I don't know, 15 years ago now. My PB is a 13.5 pounder I caught here locally, but I was using live crawdads back in the day when we were still using live bait. They don't allow it anymore. You can't bring live bait into the lakes here anymore due to all our water restrictions. And, you know, we're in a tagging situation where you got to be tagged in and out of our lakes. So I don't know if
can you kind of break that down? I'm not familiar with that.
It's a nightmare. It's LA County again, like I introduced it. So the quagga mussel, I'm sure you guys got it, and I know it's in the Colorado River, right?
We got them.
Cleans the water, right? Well, here, Castaic Lake is a drinking water reservoir, so they remind us that all the time. I'm a volunteer at the lake, and I'm a part of the Friends of Castaic Lake, and we do things to help the lake. But it's gotten difficult over the years with change of management and direction. But the quagga mussel, as you know, they will grow on top of each other, and they clog pipes. Castaic Lake is a drinking water reservoir, so we have to shoot water down to the valley south of us all the time. And we get water from Pyramid Lake, which is north of us. Well, these mussels get into the lake and they clog these pipes, and then we have to spend millions of dollars, as they say, to clean them. And so they've done everything they can to make it impossible to fish. So for the last, I'd say, about 10 years now, when you go to the lake, if you've never been here, they will pull you off to the side and inspect your boat. If you have one drop of water in your boat and they make you lower your engine, they look in your live well, they touch your carpeting. If you have one drop of water, if your boat is damp, you will fail. And they've marked you on a list, and you cannot come back for 8 days until you dry out your boat. 8 days. If you do pass that inspection, you can go fishing. When you leave the lake, you got to stop again at that same kiosk, and they will band your boat. The nose of your boat, the eye, they put it to your trailer with this thin metal band. You can cut it if you wanted to, and it has a number on it. And if you come back to the lake, say the next day, and that's missing, you'll have to go through that inspection again. Where it really screws guys, locals like myself, I fish here and I fish at Pyramids. They allow the tag to go between those lakes because they pump water back and forth to generate electricity. But guys say on a tournament day, coming from out of town, they just fished wherever and they lower their lower unit and it drips water. They fail. They can't go fishing, and they send you home. And it pisses a lot of people off, I tell you. So that's what we're going through here, at least in Castaic. I know a couple lakes here in Southern California are going through this. It's the way the state is run. And I don't want to badmouth it too much, but I'm not a happy camper. But luckily, I live a mile from the lake, and so I do jump through those hoops, so I can continue to fish it on a daily basis.
That's awesome, man. That's really weird that they banned your boat, but I mean, like, I can kind of see it. I know I fished Lake Mead last year on the One Bass series, and I was a AAA, so I didn't like pull my boat up there. I don't have one to pull, but on the last day of the tournament, Game and Fish was sitting there, and they're like inspecting each and every boat that comes out of this water. And I mean, that's just a lot of time and resource to go through, and you have to pay those people to do it. And
exactly.
you know what I mean? People are like, well, I'm not going back to that lake because I have to I have to basically give up my firstborn just to fish it. So I'm not really too
Right.
intrigued about doing that. I mean, we're getting kind of off topic here, but I'm, you know, from angler to angler,
Oh,
you know, like you have these
yeah.
conversations all the time,
Yeah. No,
and
the hoops
they've
we
got
got
to
to
come
jump
up with
through.
something to get rid
You
of these
know,
things.
well, it's inevitable that this mussel, because every now and then they come out. Oh, a scuba diver found one shell on a rock in 300 feet of water, and oh my God, the sky is falling. We have another lake nearby, about 30 miles from me, called Casitas, Lake Casitas. Great body of water. When you go there, you have to go through a steam cleaning process that I believe they charge you for, and then they lock your boat with a lock onto your boat, and you can't come back and fish for 30 days. So just
That's
imagine
insane.
that. You're it's like, what are we, like, not in a free world anymore? And once you pass your 30-day quarantine, you can go and fish as many times as you want, and when they leave, they lock you, and you can only fish that lake. So as great of a bass fishing place that is, it's just not worth it for a lot of folks, especially when I live a mile from this lake. And it is just a sign of the differences in states. You know, our lakes close at sundown. You can't go fishing after dark, you know, and other people on our
What?
Facebook pages, yeah, I see, just like you. They're like, what? Exactly. Whoa. No, you can't. And they close them. And if you're there, you get arrested or trespassed. It's crazy. It's nothing like anywhere in the country. Living here is really tough
What if you have a
to,
motor issue or something?
as far as what?
Like you're on the lake, and you know you just pull your trolling motor up, getting ready to leave, and your big motor don't start, and you're a mile away
They
from a boat lift.
have, well, at least here at Castaic, we have lifeguards that you can call the office and they'll tow you in.
Okay.
Castaic Lake's not huge. I mean, it's big, but it's not huge. And they can get to you within 10 minutes. And then they're only there, though, you know, during business hours. And at Pyramid Lake, they have LA County sheriffs up there. They don't have lifeguards, but if you were to break down, if a fellow boater couldn't tow you in. Yeah, so, you know, it is crazy when, you know, your reaction is what I get from most people that don't live here. It's like a third world country, California. It really has become with our government. And, you know, I don't want to get political, but it is really tough just to be an angler and to enjoy the lake that we have. It's so many hoops you got to jump through. And if you don't want to jump through them, you know, they say go fish somewhere else.
That's
So,
crazy. Because like I mean, at the end of the day,
yeah,
your tax dollars is what's maintaining that lake to begin with.
well, exactly. Right. And our fishing licenses, all that good stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, like that just blows my mind because like here in Arizona, obviously because of we're in the middle of the freaking desert, but like night fishing is a big part of our culture because you're not dying, you know, like you're out there, you take a gallon of water, you can fish for 5 or 6 hours, and the sun goes down, and you go back home. We actually have like we have Wednesday nighters every Wednesday, we have Thursday nighters every Thursday. And we got night tournaments in the wintertime or in the summertime, and then we fish during the day in the winter, obviously. But that's just such a big part of the fishing culture here in Arizona that just kind of blows my mind.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
tough. And there's plenty of folks that, as we call it, ninja fish. And, you know, I don't condone it. I don't want to see anybody get busted, but there's plenty of folks that sneak in and they catch great fish. As you know, bass like to bite after dark.
Yes, they do.
But, you know, trespassing tickets aren't cheap and all that good stuff. So they do patrol the waters. You know, you get it really takes a sheriff that's having a bad day that's going to give you that ticket. Once they lock the gates, I've heard plenty of people having no problems fishing our lakes at night. And we used to. This just really happened within the last 10 years. We used to fish it 24 hours a day. They have a pier they call the 24-hour pier if you were to look it up on the website, but it's no longer the 24-hour pier. It's, you know, sun up to sundown pier. And we had a giant fire roll through here in January. I'm not sure you've heard about it, but I mean, I got evacuated. The whole neighborhood did. It was terrible. And it burned all the way to the shore, all the way around the lake, pretty much. And it burnt all the railroad ties and guardrails that lead to the kiosk. So they've failed a couple inspections already, is what I'm told, on trying to reopen. And then the naysayers say that no, they're failing them on purpose so they can qualify for some federal grants as a disaster from the fire. Now, the fire happened in January. We're 6, 7 months after the fire. There's nothing wrong with that entrance road. Many people have driven it. And so we scratch our heads, and they got us cramped. So our main ramp, what I'm getting at, is not open. It hasn't been open since January, which is a giant, well-functioning ramp with rental boats at Castaic. They put us into the spare ramp, which is basically 3 boats wide. And as you know, probably where you live as well, wakeboarders and jet skis and all them, they also want to use the water. And it becomes a circus on a Saturday, Sunday. I just stay away. It's just too many people, weekend warrior type people, not, really appreciating other people's property. So just got to keep your eyes out and be aware of your surroundings.
Hey, man, I got you there, man. So you said you're in a couple of like tackle shops here locally. I'm assuming they're just folks that have fished your product and they're like, yo, man, we got to get this stuff in here. If you want to, go ahead and kind of throw them up and give them some glorification.
So the first one I got into years and years ago, it's called Tackle Express. They're in Santa Clarita, California on Soledad. Chad is the owner. Great guy. Great group of guys there. Harry, Logan, and all those folks. They're great. I've been in there for 15 years. I did Bob Sands Tackle. They've been around for 50 something years. They're in Van Nuys, California. And Aaron's the owner there. Great group of guys. Tackle Shack USA. They're in, it's considered Los Angeles, but it's basically called Silmar in the Los Angeles area. It's only like 20 miles from my house. Tackle Shack USA, they carry my baits. And then the Fishing Fools, which is another long-time saltwater, freshwater type place, old school guys, and they're in Granada Hills, California. Other than them, I have an online presence at thebaitmerchant.com, and he's a fellow friend of mine that does a bunch of buying and reselling. Personally, you think, why don't I have a website? And I'll tell you, the main reason is, as I told you, I've been with AT&T for 35 years. That takes most of my time. And to come home to hundreds of orders, I just wouldn't be able to produce. So I like to keep it personal, more personable, one-on-one, talking with each customer of mine. And I'm sure I lose sales that way because guys have a few brews in the middle of the night and they want to order some baits. Like I said, it's not my bread and butter. Eventually I will. We've been really talking about this year, especially when people hit me up and they're like, well, what baits do you offer? What do they look like? What colors? And I always have to send them 57 pictures, and that gets old. So that's coming. That's coming by the end of the year. I promise all yous, I will have a website that you can at least look at my stuff and have another place to order them from.
Rock on, man. Also, do you have anything new coming out that people could get excited about?
One of the newer molds that I'm waiting for delivery, I get it, I believe Monday, is going to be my Joe Boo bait. I don't know if I showed you that. Well, that was that straight tail, but I made some changes. So it's a 4 1/4 inch straight tail worm. So nothing super exciting, right? But, okay, I don't have one right now. Just picture a 4 1/2 inch straight tail worm that is, here it is. So you got a round body, round to oval head. Okay. So, if you're looking at it quick, it just looks like a round body. Mm-hmm. And what I changed on this bait is I flattened this out. There's a seam here. So this is going to be liquid thin all the way to the end. Okay. And all my new molds I make or have made, I always have my logo or C3 stamped on it. So you're getting an original. This bait is accounted for thousands of fish. It might not look like much. And even this model, the fluidity of that tail when you're, I test everything in the pool. It's just, you don't even need to move your rod tip. You just hold your rod steady. The current just makes this thing jiggle. Very similar to the ice pick, but this is a longer tail. That would be the next thing coming out from C3. After that, who knows? But I think you had mentioned earlier, to stay in this business and to stay relevant, you really do got to change with the society and with the angling community. And while baits I have lasted the test of time, which is great, I always want to keep people interested and excited. So every year or two, I'll come out with something brand new that they haven't seen. and it might hit, it might miss. The stink pickle was a couple years ago. I got a great following. There's a genre of people that just love that bait, can't get enough. And I have other people that don't even want to fish it. So you gotta, if you're going to be successful, you gotta, please everybody. And it is tough. It is, and I can't. But I try. And like I said, I got like 30 molds, but I like to keep 30 different baits. And some of my more popular baits, I have 12 molds of that I can make, 200 baits at once. So it does come down to supply and demand. And when there's a demand, I supply. And I like to just keep people interested in looking at my web or at my social media. What's Cap coming out with next? What's he using today? What did he use yesterday? Because I'm fishing tomorrow.
Exactly, man. Excuse me.
You're yawning. I'm boring you.
I know. I've been
Here we go. Cheers.
my electricity went out last night, so I didn't get much sleep.
Oh,
But I was watching a lot of your stuff that you have on your Instagram, and like you're just jamming out in the garage, dude, pouring baits. Like that's just so personable. I loved it. I was laughing. Look at this guy, dude. He's just living life, man. And
I'm gonna let me show you something. I'm gonna take this up real quick. So yeah, like you said, I'm in my garage. So this is like where my colors are, right? This is all my glitter, my inks. There's my microwave, one of a few that I have, and then over here is where I keep my stock. So in these boxes, you have, they're labeled with colors. So I keep these as full as I can to get ready for the shop's order. There's my biggest striped bass. That's 22 pounds right there.
that's a big one.
That's a big one there. Let me give you a better view of that other one that we talked about. Yeah, so to answer your question, yeah, it's just me in the shop, man. This is Bertha right here. That is a fat bass right there.
Yeah, so that was 17.
17, 3 or 4, yeah.
That's
and then
insane.
this down here, can you see that picture of me holding those fish?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a lunker stick back in the day. This is before we had the clips. So I know I get a lot of hate mail. Why do you got those metal things? Those fish are all alive, and they were all released, and I have video on my YouTube for it. But that was I believe, a 57-pound limit in 5 fish, and that was caught at the lower lake. And this fish right here is my biggest bass ever. But these were all over, I think that one might have been 9. But, so over the years, there's the fish up there, the big one.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it takes a lot of stuff to be successful, and a lot of time. And I have a 2.5 car garage, so it enables me to sit here and make baits. It's crazy because some people will think, God, I thought you were in a big warehouse somewhere pumping out. No, it's just me here with one microwave. So you can only imagine if I'm supplying 5 stores with baits on a weekly basis, monthly basis, that it's constant. Yeah, I'm in here, and my friends know. And hey, you want to come over? I got to make baits. If I'm not at work, I'm in here, and if I'm not in here, I'm sleeping. So that's sort of been my life, but it's fun, and I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it.
That's right, man. 100%. 100%. Well, we're getting ready to wrap it up here. Is there anything else you want to kind of go over or discuss before we get off?
No, man. I appreciate you having me on. You hit me up again in the future if I have anything new. I'd love to share. And anybody can get a hold of me on Facebook, Instagram, cccbaits@gmail.com. I do have some business out in Arizona, so it is nice to get orders from out there. And I like to reward orders too. First-time customers get bonuses in their packages. So I do appreciate everything. I do appreciate, and I do expect an order from you too, my friend.
It's coming, buddy. I got you. I got you. I'm gonna get one of those new ones with that liquid tail. That thing, that Morning Dawn brother gets it. Give me 27,000 bags.
There you go. I get that mold on Monday, and I get 2 actually, so I can make like 55 at a time.
I'm excited.
That's why. I buy in bigger molds, so I don't have to spend so much time in the sweat box. But it's worth it. People call me back and hey, look what I caught, and they send me pictures. I throw them up on my social media. That's what keeps me going, man. It really does.
Rock on, man. Well, you guys heard it right from the captain's mouth. C3 Baits. Instagram is C3_baits. Hit him up in the DMs. Place your orders. If you guys haven't going to look to see what he has, like he said, he does have the option to kind of send out and show you what's going on. But always go through his feed and just kind of see what's he got going on there. Try to expedite the process for you and for him, and everybody will win. Like he says, first-time buyers do get rewarded, so keep that in mind. And he is a mom and pa plastic pouring business out of his garage. He lives a mile from his home lake. He hasn't moved since he was a boy. He's a grass-rooted old guy, not old as an age, just like the good old boy club. And he's a humble guy. You know, you guys watched the video. You guys have seen the live. You guys have got to know him a little bit. Give him a chance. You know, you never know. Like he says, it's something different, something you haven't seen. So be sure to reach out to him. You can reach him on Facebook. You can reach him on Instagram. And if you guys can't find him in any direction, let us know. We will get you guys in touch so you guys can make that connection. And, yeah, that's it, Cap. Thanks for coming on, man. I really do appreciate taking time out of your day to come in and just share your knowledge and kind of go over exactly what you do, why you do it. And, like, showing your baits was huge. I was really excited about that because I haven't seen them all, and I knew you were going to have some stuff in there. So thank you for that. And just your time, because time is everything, especially when you work for yourself.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me. And like I said, hit me up in a couple months or whatever, weeks. I'm always available, and I'd love to share the knowledge with all the new gens. So
sounds great, Cap. Well, you have a wonderful weekend, man. If you're going out, be safe. And I'll be in touch. I'll probably reach out to you over the weekend or next week and get to chit-chatting.
Sounds good, dude. I appreciate you. Take care of yourselves. Thanks, everybody.
My pleasure, Cap. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Oh, man, what a show. That guy, he was so cool. I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. It was great. I loved it. Like I said, if you guys want to reach out to him in any way, shape, or form, you can find him on Instagram at C3_baits, or you can hit him up on Facebook at C3baits. And place your orders. Try it out. Something new, something different, something your home pond's never seen. And 9 times out of 10, that's going to produce. So check him out. Take a look at him. Cool guy. Family-owned business. Support that at the least, you know. So before we get off here, I do want to go over a couple more things. It's going to kind of be a repeat of before. I just want to go over some of what's going on here and short and sweet stuff. Zcare is up, man. The website is up. It's zcaresolutions.com. See what we got. We got stuff to clean the grime off your boats. We got stuff to clean the grime off your floors. We've got oops. We've got stain remover, pet odor remover. We've got Scotch Guard coming out. Not here yet. It's coming. It's coming. We do have your LVP, your multi-purpose. That's going to work on leather, vinyl, and plastic. LVP, leather, vinyl, plastic. We do have bilge for all you guys with the big boats. It's got those motor leaks, and your guys are in the marina starting to be like, dude, you got an oil slick behind you. You got to figure that out. Give us a call. We'll send you some bilge. We're actually mixing it next week. We mix that by hand because of the way that it is. And Z-Cal is amazing. Like I said, I took it home and did some. We actually detailed the boss's boat today, and he did not clean it at all yesterday when he pulled it out of the water because he knew he was bringing it in today. And every piece of chrome, every piece of hard water, every driplet of hard water that was on that boat got erased today. It was crazy. Z-Cal, spray it. The longer it stays, the better it cleans up. It's amazing. We also have the Badass bearings coming in hot. Like I said before, Badass bearings, the ABEC 9s is a real upgrade for your spool reels. Just make sure you stay tuned on our social media platforms for that. We're getting stuff coming up. Next Monday, we're literally going to be right here making videos all day long. So we're going to start hitting that social media real hard. Stay tuned for that. And then last but not least, our Volta Power batteries, man. Our 16 volts landed last week. We got those in stock. Get up and get them while you can. We have a very small amount because we weren't sure how they were going to do. So make sure you get us. When I say very small, I mean there's enough for everybody, but it's not like the other stuff that we bought because you know what I mean. But we got them ready to rock and roll. They are ready to be packaged and sent out. The 16 volts that we have are a dedicated forward-facing battery, so it is literally designed for that forward-facing application. So a lot of the guys on the East Coast are running it. The West Coast are starting to dabble with it a little bit. And then our golf batteries. Our golf batteries are our bread and butter, man. Those things are just amazing. Like Abel was talking about before, we do have the fire suppression coming out in the batteries this spring, or excuse me, this fall. The spring we're going to have we're doing some stuff, and we're going to try to get them into our deep cycle batteries too. But that fire suppression is a game changer. You know, everybody's first question when I ask them on the phone, why don't you want lithium? Like, oh, the fires. Well, you know what? Don't worry about it. We took care of it. So go to voltapowerlithium.com or voltapowerusa.com. You can get anything you need on there. Our chargers should be here in a couple weeks. Those are going to just be amazing. And we'll have it all up there. We're making kits. We're going to do kits for you guys. We're going to put batteries and chargers together in a kit and buy a kit instead of like piecing it out. You can still piece it out if you want to. We're just going to give you a little bit of a break for buying the kit because we figured if you're just going to take all your lead acids out of there and just putting, or your AGMs if you have those too, and just putting lithium in. So we're trying to help you guys out and not break the bank in putting in some new modern technology. So again, thank you guys for watching. If you've been here from the beginning, it means so much. It's amazing for you guys to be here with us. We do want to let you guys know that this weekend, if you are going out and you're going on the boat, or if you're going on your jet ski or your wakeboard or whatever, just be safe. Make sure you're following the rules. Make sure you're wearing your life vest. Always look around your surroundings before you come out of the hole. And you guys be safe. We will see you guys all next week. Next week we have it's between two people. I'm trying to see who's going to come in, but either one's going to be super exciting. So make sure you tune in for next week. It's going to be super cool. It's probably going to be about the same amount of time because this guy, we're doing the one guy thing. So it's going to be fun. That way we can focus fully on whatever we're talking about, not have to me trying to scramble what's going on in the future. So, but next week, same time, 3 o'clock, right here, BAB TV. A couple more things before we leave. First and foremost is that BAB TV app. If you guys want to download that app, it gives you updates and it gives you anything that's going on here on the show and inside the businesses. It's going to give you guys updates on that, so you can download it on your iOS or on your Google Play Store. And then the last thing is the flipping tournament that we have coming up. It is coming up, boys and girls. It is August. Next month we're going to be doing this. I believe it's September 21st. Copper State Tackle and Marine, Copper State Marine and Tackle will be hosting it. So we're going to be there. We're giving away a Group 24 100 amp battery for the first place winner. And then Copper State's putting some stuff up too. So come on out. We are asking that if you guys do want to come and participate, that you do register on the BAB TV app. That way we have an idea of how much food to get, so that because it is a $10 registration fee, but that $10 just basically covers the food. So you're coming up, you have the opportunity to win cool things. You get to hang out with your friends, you get to flip, you get to have a good time, and you get fed. So that's what it's for. Make sure that you guys get on there. We're trying to get a ballpark so that we can know how much to get. So again, get on there, get registered. There's no money up front. It's going to be when you get there, so don't expect that. It's all good to go. Yeah, had a great show today. Once again, thank Cap. We appreciate you for coming on, taking time out of your day. And we'll see you guys all next week. Be well.